How does the Ouija board work? Well, there's three main ways that people believe are happening when you sit at a board and you ask it a question. Scientists say it's something called ideomotor response, and that's the marrying of your subconscious and the small movements in your hand. Your hand's made of muscles, and it doesn't like to stay still. And when your subconscious sees things, it sees everything. But your conscious mind, it can't work with all of those details. It's too much. So your conscious mind filters those things out. When you sit at the board and you ask a question, those small jerky movements in your hand become fluid because you want the board to work. And so, unbeknownst to you, your hands start to move, spelling out the answers.
It's spelled hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
Psychics might say that what's really happening is when they sit at the board and ask a question, they start to make telepathy. There's a link between them. They start reading each other's mind, and that's what's happening. But then there's a segment of the population that really believes that you're making contact with something outside of you. That could be a spirit, that could be a demonic entity, that just something other than you is coming through the board. And that's where things get scary. Ouija has the truth and the facts, and then there's the urban legends. These are stories that are passed down from generation to generation that people believe. So you'll often hear people will say, I had this bad experience with the Ouija board, it scared me. People will say, well, if you start to have bad things with the board, burn them. People will say, bury the board and sprinkle holy water on it. But the next morning, it reappeared. Those are powerful because when you see and you hear them, you start to believe. Is it true? The people who are doing it believe their experience. They feel it, they hear it, they see it.
Run?
But is that a demonic force, or is it the power of suggestion? They forget that it's you and something else that's doing the communicating. You and your subconscious, you and maybe some psychic telepathy, you and some other entity. The board is just the telephone. But because we have all of these stories, because it's still such a great, simple mystery, we're still playing it today. In the Civil War, everyone lost someone. Everyone lost a father, a son, an uncle, a grandfather. These people left and just didn't come back. So it wasn't like everyone just had to deal with death. They had to deal with the mystery of what happened. And so these spirit communication devices started to pick up. But it's not until 1890 where Ouija is born. What the Ouija board did that no other talking board has really done since was it took this idea of having a seance and it put it in everyone's house. So now it's just a direct link between you and the unknown. And that's what's scary.
Can you show us a sign? Are you here?
Looking back, over 125 years of history, Ouija has enjoyed enormous success. But how it's viewed over time has changed. Initially, it's born out of the spiritualist movement. Then you see they start to market it as a game, a parlor amusement. Today, the world is very open to asking these questions. What is the paranormal? What is out there? It's easy to see when sales go up and when they don't. 1920s, World War II, Vietnam War. So what we notice is people talk about, and there's an uptick in articles that are written about the Ouija board whenever there's wars or economic depression.